This episode of IKE Sermons is brought to you by the following.
Says me, Street. Hello, boys and girls. It's nobody's pal, Super Groper. Today's sermon is also brought to you by the letter C. I think we all know what that stands for. And also by the number 4. A rapidly increasing number. We'll go with 19. Getting too old for this shit.
When you think about family, who comes to mind? You know, people that are related to you that hopefully care about you and have your best interests at heart. Very few families are close to what you see on TV. And I'll posit that none of them are perfect. There's always, it seems, at least one or two that don't have your best interests at heart. Sometimes it's the whole goddamn family. And when it is the whole goddamn family, or a majority of them, I'm going to argue from ignorance and say I don't know what else to blame that on except genetics. You know, loony birds of a feather fucking make more loony birds. And by loony birds, I don't mean just anybody with mental illness. No. I mean people that are shitty. They're just shitty. They may otherwise have their shit wired tight. But when it comes to empathy, tact, across the board, social skills, any sign of humanity that goes deeper than surface, being genuine, they're not even good actors. When it comes to being family, they're more than down to play the game of appearances. But they're terrible at it. They've got no poker face.
Oh, I was gonna stop over, but every time I drive by, there's no cars in the driveway.
Did you call or text? I mean, you were in your car driving. I'm sure you were using your phone.
That. Caps lock. That. I never said that. Well, you're our
Mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, runt of the litter.
and we just want to include you.
Well, that's nice to hear. Can we
Did
talk about
somebody
anything?
say something? That must have been the kids, Dave. Did you fart?
I see. Well, I'm gonna cash out. Thanks for letting me play.
Now see, I don't know why you gotta go and quit. See, tried to include you and you just want to leave. I mean, if somebody said something that rubbed you the wrong way,
We're sorry,
that it rubbed you the wrong way,
but just ignore it.
like we ignore everything that you say.
Remember, we're talking about blood relatives. Relatives can also be by marriage. And when your house is joined, you're basically telling this other person and their house that you're not quite blood, but you're the next best thing. You get all the privileges that come with this blood. I went over the whole blood, water, family thing in one of my early videos. You know how people get the saying incorrect, which means they're going to get the meaning incorrect. People say blood is thicker than water. By blood, they mean family related to you by genetics, is thicker than water. Thicker as in sticks together more than water, the average water that just runs down the ground. People that aren't related to you, in other words. This implies that somebody related to you by genetics always takes precedence over somebody that's not related to you by genetics, or at the very least, they're not married into your family.
No, Nickel.
It means the exact opposite, because the saying is not blood is thicker than water. It's actually the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The blood of the covenant is a pact that you make with somebody that you accept into your circle like family, like they were related to you, because they do care about you and they do have your best interests at heart. Hopefully you have their best interests at heart too. So that's the blood of the covenant, which is thicker than the water of the womb. You know, when a woman's water breaks before the baby is delivered, they are obviously genetically related because that's her baby. Doesn't mean they're going to have the same type of covenant as the first example. So the blood of the covenant represents pacts you make with those whom you choose. And the water of the womb, that represents people that you are related to by blood. Relatives can act not like family for a myriad of reasons. They can be racist. I've experienced that one myself. I'm going to go off track here for just a second. Don't you love when people say,
I'm not racist. My best friend is black.
or
I have mixed kids.
or
My cousin's mailman is black. He don't even sick the dog on him.
approximately half of my relatives are white, and an unsaid percentage of them are indeed racist.
Well, I like black men.
Maybe to fuck, or to brag, or you feel we're dangerous and that gives you some type of cred. But if he should ever leave you, suddenly he's a rapist, or just a boy. Either way, he's back down to
Nigger. Back to the point.
relatives. Can also be pushy about things like religion or politics, both of which vindicate them to tell you how to live your life. Just like poker, one player per hand, one player per life. They can be overly self-righteous. Again, like poker, overly self-righteous.
Translates to
Please don't splash the pot. They could simply not care, which is fine. But if you don't care, you should not express that you do care. That's called being fake. You can emoji it with 100. Doesn't mean it is. You can put 3 extra zeros on that check you're writing. Doesn't mean it's in your account. So what do you do about shitty family? Disown them? With any luck, they'll disown you. Save you some effort. Besides, can you really disown somebody you're related to by blood?
You're not my mommy anymore. Till I said so.
If you rely on any of these family members for financial support or for safety reasons, status, whatever, then I guess you're going to have to play the game, because you need those things until you're able to get out on your own and you can leave all the bullshit with them. And remember, though they may be playing you right now, you're playing them in the long game. You're using them Yeah, you give them the little cow towels or whatever the fuck it is they want. But you're rocking them to sleep until you're able to bounce. And once you bounce and they act like they don't care,
Good.
it's not about trying to hurt them or get even. It's about looking out for you. If they're not going to do it, there's an old saying, you better feed yourself because only you need yourself. Now, if they get all pissy when you bounce out, you're an adult now. Gently, or not so gently, remind them life is a lot like poker, and that includes family. We're all given a hand at the beginning. And if family wants to be family and stick together and fight this hand out, they're going to play those cards to the best of their ability. Sometimes the cards, aka family, fight you and get you into trouble. Never marry the cards. That is, don't get so attached to a hand that you can't discard them if you need to. Don't play a shitty hand out regardless, just because you're married to that hand, just because you're related to these people. Don't let them play you to your demise. Because if you invest in shitty cards too heavily, you're going to feel pot committed. You're never committed unless you want to be. Life, like poker, is a game of decisions. And your best chance at winning is to make as many correct decisions and as few bad decisions as possible. It's not a guarantee, but it's your best chance. If you're throwing chips at a pot and those family cards keep coming up shitty, tell them, muck you.
IKE Face Entertainment sends a warm, happy baby puppy face hug to all subscribers. To receive a personalized shout out, simply subscribe.
Listen to me.
Thank you. Wow, what a terrific audience.
I only have one question. Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
I confess it. Crimes in the series are beyond counting.
It's fun. Look at the fun we're having.
It was good. It was great.
I hate you!
You suck.
Why not simply share?
You drunk. Don't take it personally. I don't entirely trust myself. Oh, are we friends now?
Stop that. You're making me uncomfortable. Evil notions in my head.
You think you bad, huh? Woo! Did you hear that? Suck it, partner.
Getting too old for this shit.